Okay, in this video, we are at step 5 of the 6 steps to 6 figures with Shopify. And this one is optimizing your store funnel. Now, I've already actually talked a lot about optimizing your store in past videos, especially the one of creating a great offer, right? We talked about your ad to your product page and your overall store. In this one, I'm just going to break it down a little bit more so that you can really understand the idea of what you should be looking for here. Okay, and the funnel has become a very popular term these days, but I'm not talking about like a ClickFunnels thing or a specific marketing tactic. What I'm talking about is in any situation when you are advertising, you have a funnel, okay? And you're going to lose people along the funnel from visiting to actually going to the product page to placing an item in the cart to purchasing, right? And so the idea of optimizing a funnel is to hit maximum conversion rates at each step. So you, at the bottom of the funnel, you are always going to have more people who visit than more people who purchase, but that you are converting as many of them into customers, okay? So here's generally what the map looks like for an e-commerce funnel. Is you have an ad, okay, that sends them to a product page. If they like your product page and they like the product and they feel good about the price, then they go and they click add to cart, which takes them to a cart page. And then from the cart page, they click and it takes them to the checkout page, right? So number one in this situation, part of understanding conversion rate. Okay, so hold on, before I get into that, funnels should be predictable and consistent, okay? And that's the idea here. Each step, right? Now, I'm not going through all of these. Some of these are more advanced, like the one-click upsell is something we go over in the coaching, okay? And you don't even need the one-click upsell to make 6 figures, to be honest with you. I mean, it will help much quicker to get you there, but it's something that is reserved for the coaching, going over that strategy. But this is the overall, kind of going through the funnel, okay? You click an ad that creates the attention. The product page is where you sell the product. The cart page captures their buying intent. The checkout creates the purchase. One-click upsell is a profit maximizer that comes after they purchase. And then the thank you delivers the experience, okay? We'll talk about the thank you a little bit more in the next video. But this is your funnel, right? And if you can set this up that each one of these is optimized and performing, then you basically it becomes automated, where you're just looking at this. Hold on, I might erase all this. I don't need to. Keep going. Okay, so each one of these is a step, okay? So you have your ad that leads to your product page, okay? That when they click add to cart, it leads to the cart page, right? That add to cart button, okay? And then from there to the checkout page. One-click upsell, if you're using that, comes after they purchase, they get presented with an upsell to buy an additional item without having to re-enter their card information. And then finally, there's the thank you, okay, the thank you page, right? Now, each one of these pages represents a step in the funnel. Okay, and you want to optimize as much as possible for each step. Okay, we already talked about your ad and your testing metrics here. You want to have benchmarks to understand what a good funnel is. So on this page, a benchmark that I like to say is 10 to 15%. Now, if you have a Shopify store, they will show you this in your analytics section. They'll show you how many people added the cart, how many people initiated checkout, how many people completed purchase, and they will give you a percentage at each stage, and that percentage helps you understand your conversion rate. That percentage is important because the higher that percentage is, the better automated your funnel is, right? So at this stage, I'm not saying this is what I always get, and I'm not saying that this is what I always start out with, but this is what I always strive for and look to improve for, to get a 10 to 15% add to cart percentage, right? Meaning that 10 to 15% of people that land on my product page click the add to cart button or the buy it now button or whatever you call it. And then from here, so this is your cart page, right? Okay, so that's your cart page where basically they are going to review their cart and then they have to click to continue to checkout. Now, this is like your initiate checkout, and it's still a step. Now, some people, okay, look, listen, some people skip this step by having a button that when you click on the button, some people just like to skip it and send them right to the checkout page. Personally, I don't do that because all major e-commerce stores like Amazon, AliExpress, eBay, Etsy, they all still use a cart page, all right? So I like to use a cart page. You can test that if you want. Some people might tell you that they've seen better conversions with it, but I still like to use the cart page that's built into the store, okay? And we're going to look at specific things you can kind of do on each one. I already talked about a high converting product page, right? So I'm not going to talk about that again. I covered that back in the creating a good offer, what goes into a high converting product page, okay? And if your product page is not converting at this level, then you should think about those things like reviews, trust, social proof, reviews, basically. And your load, well, we'll talk about load speed time in a second. Your images, your price, your product description, right? These are all things that really can add overall. And then your branding as well. I talked about branding. This is why your branding's important. All of these are like first impression things that happen on your product page when somebody clicks from an ad, okay? So overall, I'm shooting to improve here. If you're starting at like the 5 to 10% range, this is okay, right? And I would say this is good, and anything above 15% is fantastic. All right. I've never really seen, except for maybe very short windows of time, with anything higher than 15%. But I know that there are people that have done that, and it can be done, especially with a niche store. Not really a general store, but especially with like a niche store for sure. But still, anywhere in this range is really good. Okay. Here, there's going to be some natural drop-off here. I don't really worry. I mean, yeah, okay, so I like to see maybe only, how's the good way to put this? Like less than a 50% drop-off, okay? So ideally, if you're getting 10% add to cart here, then I want to see at least 5% of them, so we'll call this like 50%. At least 5% of them initiating checkout and making it to the page. Ideally, it's more like 75%, right, that are clicking through from cart to checkout, okay? Because they should, right? If they had add to cart intent, then most of them should be clicking through to the checkout. Now, there are multiple reasons why somebody might get hung up here. Maybe they have multiple tabs open. Maybe they're on their phone and they're at lunch, or a friend calls them, or they're out doing something. There are a lot of reasons why somebody could get caught up here. Same reasons why somebody could get caught up here. But ideally, you're making this experience on this page so that they are clicking through quickly to the cart. And then from here, same thing, as this number, kind of like 50 to 75% drop off. But I don't like to think of the checkout as that, because this is where your overall conversion rate comes into play. So 5% is my benchmark conversion rate at the end of the funnel, right? This is like the first step end of your funnel, because this is where they make a purchase. And this is where I want, again, this is what I'm shooting for. I don't always start at 5%. I've had numbers higher than 5%, up to like 9 and 10. And I've had numbers lower, but I always am shooting for like the 5% range as a benchmark to be converting here on my actual purchases, okay? So that's kind of just, and then I'm not going to talk about upsell benchmarking, and this page doesn't matter because this is just a thank you. But I mean, I shouldn't say that it doesn't matter. It does matter. but it doesn't. It's not a conversion that we look for, because 100% of people that purchase hit this, obviously. And this is as a good benchmark here. If you can be getting 20 to 30% of people to take an upsell, that's fantastic. But again, I'm not going to talk about the one. I'll tell you what is best used, one-click upsell. It's what we teach people in the coaching program, but I'm not going to go into that strategy here, because it's more of an advanced thing that matters once you already have a winning product that you're selling. Okay. So anyway, that's just like some benchmark stuff on mapping out your funnel. All right. And I think it's really good to understand, because you might be getting great clicks here, right? Say you're getting 50-cent clicks here, and you're like, man, my ad is doing good. Why am I not getting sales here, right? Why is my sale conversion rate only 1%? It has nothing to do with your ad, or very little to do with your ad, because your ad's doing its job. It's getting clicks. It has more to do with something in here in the funnel. So the first place you have to start and look is at your add to cart. Are you getting a good add to cart percentage? If not, you got to work on these things, right? Okay, and if you are getting a good add to cart percentage, are people dropping off for some reason in the cart area? There's different things you can try. You can try sending them straight to the checkout. You can try having a pop-out cart, right? Or you can look at your cart page and see, like, is there better ways to optimize your cart page, which there are, which we'll talk about. So conversion rate optimization is super important, because this is what helps you do. This is what helps you make more money, right? In a world where Facebook ads are rising and there are competitors out there, the one thing that you can control always is your conversion rate. And this can be a big difference, right? As you see in this example here with a $100 average order value. Very simple example, big difference in the overall money somebody's making on a daily basis just based on a 1% higher conversion rate, right? It's based on you're already getting these visitors and this traffic. So the more of them that you can convert by doing some of these things and focusing on some of this, the more money that you're going to make. And focusing, a lot of people just focus on getting more visitors, right? But conversion rate can be the difference between you making money and being profitable and somebody else going out of business. Or vice versa, can be the difference between you not making this drop shipping thing work and other people making a lot of money, based on understanding conversion rate. So when we talk about conversion probability, what does that mean? All right, there's a few things on your store that go into this, okay? Motivation of the customer, we can't really control, right? This could be based on what they're doing at that time of day. This is why we do retargeting, okay? Because maybe they're in the middle of something and they just happen to see an ad and it caught their attention, but it's not really a buying moment for them, all right? Maybe they're about to go to bed. Maybe it's too early in the day. It could be so many different things going on in somebody's life that takes away from their motivation. Doesn't mean they won't buy at a different time, but that's why we do retargeting, okay? But that is a hidden factor of why some people might buy other than other times, okay? Force of the value proposition is all about your product description, your price, your overall brand, and appearance, okay? On poorly converting product pages, perceived cost exceeds the perceived value. Job is to increase the perceived value. Okay, this is a kind of a lengthy topic. I'm not going to go too into depth here, but just think about why people pay $300 for a Supreme t-shirt, because the perceived value of that shirt is more to them than the $300, okay? So anything in cost is not ever really as much about the price as you think. All right, because there are many examples of, for example, Tiffany's selling a golden paperclip for $1,000. Okay, people are willing to buy that. I don't know how many they sold. I'm sure they sold at least a few. People are willing to buy that based on the perceived value of the paperclip. The brand in that situation is the value. Now, it takes a long time to build a brand like that, obviously. But this perceived value can still be dealt with in the way that you present your brand online, you present your product, you present your content. Is it high end, or does it look cheap? Does your store look like a gimmick, or does it look like $1 million brand, right? These type of things create the force of your value proposition. And it can't be understated how important your product descriptions are in that factor. product descriptions are what create value proposition in absence of like images and overall aesthetics. Your product description is what's going to create a story and an emotional response from somebody that makes them want to buy. Incentive to take action. All right, this is where like you can have sales, free shipping, you can have special deals. Like one, for example, that Black Diamond does well. If you go to their site and you stay on their site for like a minute, okay, they will have a pop-up that comes out that gives you a discount. It's a timed pop-up. So that's an incentive. If somebody has been waiting on a store and reading a product page or viewing something maybe for a minute or two, you have a timed pop-up at like 2 minutes or a minute and a half that presents them a discount. That's giving them incentive because they may have already been interested. Friction elements, okay? Friction is anything that makes it difficult for the sale to happen. And I find this one interesting because you'll see a lot of stores that use like pop-ups instantaneously, okay? I like pop-ups when they're timed because it gives incentive based on somebody already spending time on your site. And I like pop-ups that are exit intent because an exit intent pop-up means that you are giving them an incentive to stay and actually go through with the purchase. I don't like pop-ups that happen as soon as you land on a site. That's friction in my opinion. Before somebody's even been able to read through your product description and make a decision on whether they like it, you're hitting them with something that takes them away from the experience. For me, the idea is you want somebody to go through, ideally, not everybody's going to do this, but you want as many people, cold traffic, to land on your product page and click the add to cart button and go through the process of buying as quickly as possible. Make it as easy as possible for them to give you money. If you have pop-ups and Wheelio and all these crazy things going on that are jamming up your load speed time, you're creating a lot of friction in that experience and making it harder for them to give you money, okay? I'm not saying one way or another is right. There will be people out there that say, oh, Nick, I heard this guy uses Wheelio and he makes a killing. Look, I'm not saying it's not possible, but to me, it's a friction element, and on the first experience a user has, I'm trying to give them the most clear and easiest way to give me money, not to distract them with pop-ups and then have them go to their email inbox and, this and that. So, but like I said, an exit intent is a fantastic way to capture somebody's email address for a discount or something, and then you have a chance to follow up with them and convert sales in like a welcome series. And anxiety elements, all right? This goes into like just basically risk reversal. Do you have refund policies clearly visible, shipping policies, track order policies, guarantees, and trust badges, right? These, it can also go the other way. Do you have too many trust badges that it looks like a giant scam or a red flag, or So again, you want you want to find a balance here of risk reversal and trust. Social proof, right? Reviews, remove anxiety and help the force of the value proposition. And so these things all go into the conversion probability. A few big takeaways for your store to think about, okay? Optimizing your product pages. Okay, we talked about this. This is just a review, really. Considering how everything looks on mobile. How big is your header? Can you see the image bright and clear with the title and the price above the fold, meaning before they have to scroll? How quickly does it load, right? On mobile especially, needs to load quickly. Using bright contrast images. Include sale prices. Highlight sale prices in a different color if you can. Trust badges, but not overdoing it. Don't use fake scarcity. Definitely include reviews and testimonials. Write benefit-driven, story-like product descriptions. Include risk reversal elements like guarantees and reasons to buy from us and trust badges. Consider the sticky add to cart button. You should more than consider it. You should be using the Vitals app, and you should be using the sticky add to cart button as well. The color of your add to cart button, you want to be like bold, contrast, stand out from the rest of the page. Including videos and images in your product description, and then having related items, most popular items, those types of things at the bottom. Okay, these should all be present, for the most part, all of these for sure, on a good product page. Optimizing your cart page. Okay, so when we were looking earlier at the Jennifer Stone store, You remember I had something in my cart. All right, this is optimizing the cart page. Okay, see, they have these trust badges. They have this guaranteed safe and secure checkout down there. This is how it looks on mobile. Right, big checkout here button. Okay, they optimized what the checkout button says to checkout here. They're showing the savings in here still. Then they have this guaranteed safe checkout. They took away other payment button options, right, that would distract. So this is really good. They've optimized this, right? Oh, wrong page. If you can include reviews and testimonials, you can also do that, as well as benefits of buying, return policies, contact info. See, very easy. They have their benefits here: free worldwide shipping, 100% satisfaction. All right, so like these are things that are part of your footer and can be part of your overall store, but should definitely still be present on your cart page as well. And you can include these. You can custom code this kind of stuff into your page. Okay, considering a discount code. This is an option that you can do where you can custom code discounts to show up in the checkout page, like either above the button here or here, where it says like, hey, congratulations, you have a 5% discount. Use code take 5 on the next page to save 5%, right? Like you can custom code discounts in there, just kind of like an extra element. The Vitals app, like I said, lets you customize things on the cart page, like having a cart reserved message up top here. It'll say like an item in your cart is in high demand. This is reserved for 10 minutes, right? To try and create a little extra urgency to push people along into the checkout process, the checkout page. All right, there's not actually much you can do there. So within basic Shopify plans, there's not much you can do on the checkout page other than add your logo at the top, right? There are, and I guess they added this. This is what I would add on the cart page. They added it on the checkout page. There are integrations that you can use. Like they're using an integration to be able to do this stuff up top here, okay? There are integrations you can use to customize the checkout page a little bit more, but it's kind of more of an advanced tactic, so I'm not going to cover it in here because this course is really just meant to be the stuff you need to get started. But you can look at stuff like Cart Hook or Checkout X or Inner Cart. These are all apps that allow you to like integrate with a one-cart checkout page and customize everything. But Shopify itself has shut down being able to customize the checkout page. So it's not really something that you can do unless you're on the Shopify Plus plan, and I would not recommend the Shopify Plus plan. Okay, and then final thing to talk about in overall, just like understanding conversions and optimizing conversion points for a couple final things, right? Conversion points. So your conversion rate is not just based on your front end traffic. Once you set up these systems like email and remarketing, these will also continually be bringing visitors back to help boost your conversion rate in your funnel, right? Because your conversion rate is just based on like your visitors per day to sales per day, okay? And so you have your cold traffic, and ideally, if you can get your cold traffic to convert at 3 to 5%, that's fantastic. But when you start running traffic and including your email systems that, you have your welcome series for exit intent, like giving a discount into a welcome email. You have your remarketing for people that have visited the page or added the cart but didn't purchase, and you're bringing people back, offering them discounts. This is going to overall help bring more sales in from warm traffic or hot traffic, people that have already been there, which will help boost your conversion. Okay, so we're not really going to talk about email much in this. I have a special some email videos being prepared, but retargeting we will talk about a little bit in the next section for scaling your store. Conducting split tests is how you improve conversion rate, right? So focusing on one thing at a time when you're trying to improve your store, like say your product page, and you want to test You want to test things one at a time. Like, okay, on my product page, if I test this image instead of this image, does it improve the overall? If I test this header instead of this, right? You don't want to test more than one thing because then you don't know what worked. On the cart page, I test, okay, I have this, now I add it with a trust badge underneath. Do I see an overall improvement or not? You want to use a time frame to test that change, okay? So, like, are you going to test it over 1 day, over 1 week? You have to be getting enough visitors within that time frame, like at least 100 visitors to make it a ideal, or to make it a meaningful test. Ideally, at least a couple hundred visitors to make it actually real good, solid data. But you definitely need at least a time frame and like visitors being somewhat similar so that you have results that you can really compare side by side. And then split test ideas based on criteria, just some tips here. So how easy is the split test to implement and test? Like, I would start with those first. How likely is it to an increase in conversion? Okay, using from your studies and your best guesses. Okay, split testing the add to cart button is easy to implement and definitely could have an impact on conversion rate. Split testing a sticky add to cart button, easy to implement and definitely likely to increase conversion rate. Right. And so you can use these as criteria for like what are the main things you can start testing one at a time at different points through your funnel to see what's helping. Because ultimately the goal is one by one, from your ad to your product page to your cart page to your checkout, to improve each step along the way until it's optimized, and then just start pushing traffic through, because once it's optimized and it's working, that's when you can get to that sort of automated campaign flow where you're making money based on running traffic to offers that are converting through your funnel. And then finally, gaining a deeper understanding of your visitors, okay? Different visitor types. There's new versus repeating. So you want to see the difference in that in your Shopify dashboard, right? And I want to be clear here that this is a beginner level look at conversion rate optimization. It can go much, much deeper. It's a great topic to study, but I wouldn't take it too deep until you're already like getting lots of visitors, thousands of visitors a day, 1,000 plus visitors a day for sure, right? At this level of getting to that point of a profitable store, making 6 figures, getting 1,000 visitors a day, this is really good information to just make sure you're optimized where you should be. And then from there, for sure, the biggest sites in the world like Amazon and Facebook and eBay and Etsy, they're split testing stuff every day, all the time. They're split testing stuff. And because it can make a huge difference, right? And one trend may not last forever, and there may be room for improvements in different ways. So it's an ongoing thing. There are highly qualified experts, agencies, and resources of information out there that you can continue to research. I'm just trying to give you the basics of getting set up and started in a profitable manner. Okay. So new versus repeating customers, and you can see that in your Shopify dashboard and kind of have a breakdown of, what's converting better. All right. Ideally, repeating customers are converting better, right? But it just gives you an idea of who to, where you should be spending a lot of time. And I mean, mostly for the most part, new or repeat customers are going to convert better. But if they're not, then like maybe there's something to look at there, right? So it's just understanding your visitors. Why do visitors convert? Okay, thinking about like what's working, and a great way to do this is you can use Lucky Orange, or there's a few different types of conversion tracking apps that you can install to it'll heat map. Basically, it heat maps your site, and you can see what people click on, what they avoid, like what attracts them, so even recording, you can record. It'll record your visitors actions, right? And so you can watch that and see, are there problem areas in your site that you didn't know about, like when they scroll down that all of a sudden makes them leave, or a pop-up makes people leave, or so really understanding your visitors and what makes them purchase can help. Identifying user experience issues. So there's something called the Google Page Speed Test. All right, this will test your site load time, your mobile friendliness, and these are both important things. So you can just come to Google and type in Google page speed test. Okay, and here it is for the developers. All right, there's other ones out there like GT metrics and this and that, but so let's type in, let's use theirs as an example. Now, what's nice about Google PageSpeed Insights is that it will also give you a list of, why you got that score and what things you can improve based on. Okay, so they're getting a bad score on mobile. This is on mobile, right? So there's mobile and there's desktop. Their score is much better on desktop, but on mobile, their first contentful paint. First input delay, okay? So it's basically talking about like your speed time loading up here for your content, like your image, how long it takes to show, input delay, and then down here, it's showing you your savings of where your opportunities are. Off-screen images, render blocking resources. Now, I don't understand. I don't technically necessarily understand all of this stuff, but look, it's breaking it all down for you right here of how you can maybe start to look at some of these things and fix them and make them better. It's telling you what are some of the most meaningful, or not meaningful, but some of the biggest critical things that are causing your site to slow down. Again, GT metrics is another one that you can use that does a similar test, right? Okay, so here we see they scored D for them, both the full load speed time 5 seconds. Anything over 3 seconds is generally considered too long, okay? But then again, it's going to tell you the type of recommendations that it's making and how badly a score it's giving for that. So minimalizing redirects, and they try to be really helpful here with what's this mean, but you can always get a professional to help you with this, a developer, somebody, there's Fiverr gigs, there's people out there that you can hire to help you come through something like this and do the best that they can, right? Leverage browser caching. This is a reason that the Vitals app, again, is so fantastic, because it does browser caching automatically. Parsing of JavaScript, right? A lot of times, see how these apps are in here slowing things down, right? That is another reason why to use the Vitals app, because the Vitals app has all your apps stored in one place, so it's not trying to call from all these different areas, all these different servers, and load them all at the same time. All of this stuff slows your site down, okay? And by just fixing these two things with the Vitals app, they could already be improving their score majorly, okay? So that's just another reason why you should be finding that Vitals app in the resources section and starting your extended free trial with the Ecom Empire's 14-day free trial and 10% discount. So anyway, that is definitely something you should look into, all right? Making sure your site speed time is good. Making sure navigation is good, making sure information is easy to understand with your refunds and your shipping policy, and FAQs if you have complicated products and stuff. And then Google Analytics is a great thing to install as well. There's actually a Google Analytics specific training in Ecom Empire's Academy, so I'm not going to talk about that here, but just you should watch that video. It's really valuable. It's from my man Demetrius Skiatis. Google Analytics helps you understand behaviors on your store, find opportunities, find problems, fix things, improve things. So it's really, really a valuable thing to have on your store, especially when you start getting a lot of traffic. Okay, and all of this video has been ways to help you understand and improve and optimize your funnel so that you can run traffic in the next phase of scaling an offer and pushing more traffic into the funnel, and hopefully that just helps you create more money coming out the other side.